5 vegetables that grow better vertically, and there are many more, but that's the topic of this video. I want to talk about some veggies that grow better when they're trained to grow upright rather than growing naturally without any support. I'll also talk about the benefits of growing vertically regardless of the plant that you want to grow, and I'll share some simple structures you can build to train your plants upright. Before I get into some specific vegetables to grow vertically, I want to talk about the benefits of growing vertically, and the first one is that it saves a ton of space. I'm going to use cucumbers as an example. That's a little bit of a spoiler here, but cucumbers, when they're allowed to sprawl, will take up a pretty vast area of space in the garden. Whereas when you train them to grow vertically, they really only take up maybe 1 square foot of soil space, which allows you to grow tons of other plants in front of your cucumbers and other vertically grown vegetables, making your garden much more productive overall. If you were to plant cucumbers in the garden without vertical support, you would need to space them maybe 2 to 3 feet apart from one another. Whereas when you grow vertically, you can put them as close as 12 inches apart and get the same or better productivity out of much less soil space. Another benefit is improved airflow. If your plants are sprawling along the ground, conditions will be much stuffier, more humid, and therefore the plants will be more prone to diseases. Whereas when they're growing upright, there'll be much better air circulation around the foliage, and you'll have less disease problems. Another benefit is that it's easier to manage your plants if you need to do any pruning or even just harvesting. It's easier to find your cucumbers and other fruiting plants. When they're growing upright, you can just see much easier into the plants, whereas a sprawling plant is much harder to navigate when it comes time to harvest or prune. And lastly, if you're a little bit creative, which I admittedly wasn't with this structure, but you can make it an attractive focal point of your garden. You can make your trellis into an arch or have a beautiful walkway with plants growing over it. It doesn't just have to serve a practical purpose, it can also be beautiful. The only drawbacks in my opinion are that one, you do have to build these structures or have them built, so there is a cost, but this is just a one-time expenditure of time and money, and then the structure can benefit you for years to come. The other drawback is that when you train your plants vertically, you do have to put a little more time into managing those plants. Like I was saying, you do have to prune some plants, and you may need to train them up your vertical trellis or support system using string or clips, but that added input into your garden should give you better results in the end. So now let's get into the 5 vegetables that grow better vertically, and I'll start with the one I've been talking about, which is cucumbers. I wanted to start with this one because it's just the textbook example of a plant that should be grown vertically. And in fact, cucumbers are naturally climbing plants. So as they grow, you'll notice tendrils forming off of the nodes, which will wind their way around anything nearby that they can climb, including your trellis. If you've ever grown cucumbers, you know that disease can be a major problem. So again, growing vertically can improve that airflow and postpone disease for as long as possible. So it does just make sense to let the cucumbers do what they want to do and grow upwards rather than laterally along the soil. And the end result is much better yields, saving space in the garden. It's easier to locate your cucumbers and harvest them regularly, which is important for cucumbers because you want to be harvesting them as soon as they're ready to pick to keep the plants in productivity mode. The next crop that grows better vertically are tomatoes, probably the most popular garden vegetable to grow. And most people already grow their tomatoes vertically in one way or another, using maybe a tomato cage or even just a simple stake. Keeping your tomatoes upright is pretty important. Again, tomatoes are prone to various diseases, so keeping them up and off of the soil is paramount. But rather than just simply making sure the plant stays upright, you can be a little more creative with how you train your tomatoes vertically. Specifically, you can train a single main stem upright, and that way you can have your tomatoes much closer together along a vertical trellis. I'll get more into this when I talk about structure types that you can use in just a bit. Unlike cucumbers, tomatoes are not natural climbers. You won't see any tendrils, and they won't naturally wrap themselves around structures, so you will need to manually train your tomatoes upright, whatever it is you're using. A cage is probably the simplest option, or a stake with some string. Just make sure that whatever support structure you use is strong enough for your tomatoes, especially later in the season when those heavy fruits are coming on the plant. Next up are snap peas, and that's actually why I built this trellis in the first place. It has this relatively light support structure. It's just some trellis netting, but that's plenty to support something like peas. Peas are natural climbers, so once they find something to climb, they'll take it on from there. You don't really need to put any more work into the plants. But without something to climb, peas can become very messy and sprawling around your garden. They're searching for something to climb up vertically. And if they don't have something that you've built for them, they'll usually find other plants to climb, which can be okay, but I think it's ideal to keep them off of your other plants and climbing up some sort of structure. Peas can take up very little space in the garden this way. You can plant every 4 to 6 inches or so and have a ton of peas in a very small space. The next crop that definitely grows better vertically are beans, specifically pole beans, because they are natural climbers and they will aggressively climb up anything that's nearby. So providing those plants with a support system is actually really important. Otherwise, they're going to be climbing up your plants, again, like peas do. Now, pole beans are probably the most aggressive climber I'll be talking about in this list, so definitely be careful. You'll want to have something to support them. But the benefits are about the same as all the other crops. You'll get more out of a smaller space while keeping the rest of your garden open to grow other crops. Before I get to the last crop that I'll be discussing in this video, if you want more options to grow vertically, we have an article on geekygreenhouse.com which has 11 crops to grow vertically, so if you're interested, I'll leave that link down below. So the last crop that grows better vertically might be a little bit surprising, and that would be melons. This includes watermelons, cantaloupes, and honeydew. Now, you probably won't want to be growing oversized watermelons or anything too heavy on a trellis or a vertical support, just because the fruits themselves are just too heavy to be supported by the vine. But for smaller melons up to, say, 5 pounds, you can grow them vertically and they'll do very well. There are some modifications you might want to make, namely that you'll need something stronger to support the weight of the fruits, and you might want to go with a thicker gauge of your trellis netting or whatever material you go with to make sure that it doesn't cut into the vine of the plant as they get heavier. I've seen some beautiful arches with dangling melons ready to harvest. It's definitely a fun option. Okay, now I want to talk about 3 really simple support structures that you can build. But first, I'll just touch on 2 really basic options. One is the stake, which you see in front of me here. These are going to just help support plants like peppers and maybe a tomato and keep that plant upright and off the ground. It's not really a trellis, but it is a vertical support system, and you can get pretty huge stakes to support maybe a tall tomato and keep one plant growing vertically over the course of the season. We have tons of these on hand in various sizes, just to give plants a little bit of extra support if they need it. The other would be a cage, and though they're called tomato cages, I really find them better suited for peppers because tomatoes can get so large and heavy later in the season. Your common tomato cage that you find at the big box store usually isn't enough to support tomatoes, so I highly recommend using them for your peppers. Okay, so the first simple structure you can build is the one I have right here, which is just a simple vertical trellis. This can be built to your liking and can be any size that you need. And it's basically just a vertical fence with a grid pattern, often with wide enough holes to reach through for harvesting and pruning. What is this type of structure good for? Pretty much anything that you can grow vertically will grow well on this. The only exceptions might be melons, just because they're so heavy. You definitely want to upgrade from this trellis netting to something more structurally supportive. But pretty much anything that you want to grow vertically can be grown up a simple structure like this one, including tomatoes and peppers, peas, beans, along with non-vegetable plants like morning glories or even roses. It's an incredibly versatile structure that can be built in a variety of ways. The most basic materials you'll need are some end supports, so I'm using 2x4 pieces of wood here, but you could use T-posts or U-posts, and then a support along the top helps keep things sturdy. And then you'll need some sort of lattice like this netting, or you could use a more sturdy material like cattle panels, which are made out of metal, to train your plants along. Some modifications you can make to the trellis are that you can use different materials. So again, you might want to go with a heavier gauge if you're growing heavier crops like big tomatoes. And of course, the shape of this could be modified to your liking, so it can be as long or as skinny as you want. And you can even bend it into a beautiful arch over your garden. Arches are great for aesthetics, but also for growing certain crops like flowers or pretty much any fruiting plant like cucumbers, gourds, or tomatoes. The next option is even simpler than this one, and that is an A-frame. The reason this is so simple is you don't have to affix it to anything. It just sits on the surface of your soil in your garden. And basically this is just a triangle with trellis material on either side. This is great for cucumbers or peas and beans to keep them up and off the ground. And the great thing about an A-frame is that you can utilize the soil underneath the A-frame for cooler season crops like lettuce or beets. The biggest benefit here is that it's just so simple. All you need is some lattice or trellis material, ideally pretty sturdy. Now, of course, you can make a much more advanced version of this, maybe a much taller A-frame using wood and some hinges along the top to get more out of your vertical space. Or if your garden is directly against a structure like a wall or a house, you could just lean a single panel of this trellis material against your wall and you have a lean-to trellis, very similar to an A-frame. We have an old wooden ladder leaning against our house, which will be growing string beans up this year, and the concept is really the same. The last simple structure you can build to grow plants vertically is a string trellis, and this structure I have here could definitely be used for this. The difference here is you don't have a lattice material, but instead you have just a single string connected from the top support down to the base of each plant. This type of trellising is what's used in many greenhouse operations for growing things like peppers and tomatoes and cucumbers, so you know they're onto something if they're using it to get the maximum yield out of their plants. The benefit to this type of training, again, is that the plants can be spaced very close together, and it allows for some very clever maneuvering once the plants reach the top of the trellis. There are a few different ways that you can manage this once the plants reach the top. You can train the plant to grow over and back down the top. That's called umbrella trellising. Or you can use the lower and lean method, basically lowering the plant so that it's a few feet below the top, allowing the lower part of the plant to sort of bow outward, ultimately allowing the plant to continue growing vertically. Like I said, this is really good for cucumbers, tomatoes, and maybe even peppers, depending on your climate, but it's a really simple and effective option if you're just getting started. The materials you'll need are very similar to what you see here, some wood and a strong piece of wood along the top for support. And then they do make some special clips along the top which hold the string in place, or you can just simply affix the string directly to the top with a screw, keeping it in place over the course of the season. If you've never tried growing vegetables vertically, I hope I've inspired you to try it this season. It makes a huge difference in your garden's overall productivity, and there are just so many ways that you can apply it. Let us know in the comments your creative ways of growing veggies vertically. Thanks for watching Geeky Greenhouse, and I'll see you soon. But most cucumbers, tomatoes, peas, beans, did I not talk about beans?